Fucking finally! Not only do we live in a world where a Jurassic World movie satisfied me more than a Mission Impossible movie in the same year, but we also live in a world where a Jurassic World movie utilized Mahershala Ali better than the MCU has, would, could, and probably ever will. Gotta give credit where credit is fucking due. So Jurassic World Rebirth is a follow-up sequel to Jurassic World Dominion and the previous Jurassic Park movies before that. However, it's a little different in the sense that it's a redoing of different characters. Same world and everything, they're not rebooting, but there's no follow-up to what happened before. Completely different characters altogether, starring Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, this crew of people that are essentially these mercenaries who have to go to this island of Jurassic World and collect DNA from dinosaurs to create a potential cure for something. And that is really where the crux of this movie begins, and that is what the story is. Simple and effective, and that's what I like most about Jurassic World Rebirth, is that this felt a lot more human. This is the most human I've felt with a Jurassic World movie or a Jurassic Park anything movie since at least the original trilogy. I had a lot of fun with this movie. It's not perfect, but there's definitely a lot of fun to be had. It's not perfect, but there's definitely a lot of stuff I really enjoyed. Getting into the characters first, I like that this movie is really focused on the characters. It feels a lot more streamlined in that way, a lot more human. The people don't feel like movie stars here, even though it's Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, people who are movie stars, yet the characters they play feel naturalistic for this world. They feel grounded. I appreciate that. When we had certain scenes that were about 10 to 15 minutes long of just character building dialogue, I really appreciated that this movie was taking time to do that. I was like, am I feeling emotions in a Jurassic Park movie again? I haven't had this in a while. That was really the most refreshing element to me. I think this movie at the center has a really nice beating heart to it. Flaws and all, I still really enjoy that this movie explores that debate that I love about the original Jurassic Park. I'm a huge fan of the original film. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't feel like most of the sequels really capture that same debate, even this one included at some points. But what I love about this movie is that it does attempt to it. It does feel like it is trying to have that conversation and not lose sight of it, like I felt the Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard Jurassic World films did at times. I thought this movie had a nice handle on its characters. It understands that grounding people in reality is what makes us care when we get to the stuff of dinosaurs and monsters and crazy thrilling action. And what I also like about Jurassic World Rebirth is that it doesn't feel like a action movie. It feels more like a spectacle of nature. Like, there's a lot of great scenes where it is just methodically showing how dinosaurs can be dangerous, not because they're these action movie villains, but because they're just natural beings in this world that are naturally bigger than us, naturally above us in terms of just their natural existence. And that is terrifying. Like, I like that there are moments in this movie that are about building tension, but it's actually just in the sense that, oh, that dinosaur over there is asleep. I can't wake it up. Oh, that dinosaur over there is just eating, but I'm just existing in this spot, so I'm terrified. I like that this movie focused more on that. It felt a lot less Hollywood-esque, that these animals felt less written. That being said, I feel like the third act kind of contradicts that, and I'll get into that in a bit, still on positive. But I really enjoyed the exploration of dinosaurs in this movie because it did bring it back to that debate. Yes, in the first Jurassic Park, it kind of tackles the idea with Ian Malcolm. He's like, you spent so much time trying to figure out if you could, you never thought if you should. And now, but we're in a world post that debate now. We're in a world where it happened. The Pandora's box has been opened, genie's been let out of the bottle. What do you do with that now, that dinosaurs are around and among us? I like that here it shows that, yeah, in a sense, some humans want to utilize them for financial gain. Some humans want to just be apathetic. Some humans are just annoyed that a dinosaur is having trouble and in pain, but they're blocking traffic. So people have to get to work, and people are just honking their horns and being insensitive. That's a moment in this movie I thought was really human and effective and simple for the world building and not really spending too much time. It didn't feel ham-fisted, it just felt natural. You have one guy honking out the horn being like, come on, just kill it so it can keep going. And then you have Scarlett Johansson's character like, well, that's kind of cold. Like, I like how you have that. Feels like a real moment in a scenario you'd see with anybody debating an animal in real life. It just felt like quick and concise and to the point in a way that was effective. And I get it, like one could argue the other Jurassic World movies try to tackle this conversation too. I just felt like this movie had a better handle on it because the treatment of the dinosaurs in it felt a lot more naturalistic. Because the humans feel natural, the dinosaurs also feel natural. They feel like just living creatures living in the environment. This movie does take a lot of time to really relish in the beauty of what dinosaurs are, and that felt a lot like the OG Jurassic Park that I know and love. I appreciated that this movie knew to keep that in check and keep a heart at the center of it, even though it did still deliver on moments where you're like, oh man, I can't wait to see that shithead get eaten. Just wait. It's gonna be good. Yeah, you had those characters too, and I thought for this movie it was very self-aware and effective in what it was doing with that. I really enjoyed the antagonists as well. I thought this movie just had a great layup of characters. There's especially a side family that I don't want to get too much into because I thought they were a very nice surprise hit of this movie, but there is a plot that you think is just going to start off as like just one quick scene, but it escalates into being a main point of characters in the movie, and I really like how that movie blended that in, and I thought it was nice, and it also did a great job at escalating tension. Another thing I like about Jurassic World Rebirth is that the humans always feel like they're in danger. They never feel like they're on top of the situation. This reminds you that, yeah, these dinosaurs, they're scary too at times because they are reacting to you being in their environment. The movie tackling that question of we're just all pieces of nature. Humans are a temporary species on this earth. People have been here before, animals have been here before, other species have been here before, and will be here after us too. But nature bounces back naturalistically, sometimes with intent, like we see with certain dinosaurs. I like that that theme is tackled through the action of this movie as well. And I did say before, this movie had heart. Like, I really enjoyed that a lot of scenes were about characters just getting to know each other. It wasn't about spending time just trying to be a comedy or an action MCU fest humor kind of thing or try to be quippy. It was really focused on just being a movie with characters having normal dialogue, talking about normal life stuff, sometimes tragedy, but sometimes it's just people getting along and bonding over an experience. I'm not saying it's the most profound, I'm not saying it's the best written thing of 2025, but it didn't really need to be. It just needed to be human, and I like that this movie felt human. I had feelings in this Jurassic Park movie. I haven't had feelings in a Jurassic Park movie in more than a decade. Feelings beyond just frustration. Like, this movie didn't frustrate me like that. Well, at points, and I will get into that. There are certain flaws in the third act. The movie's not perfect, not gonna spoil the third act or anything, but I just felt like the last bit of this movie, the last act, felt a little contradictory to how tense the rest of the movie felt. The humans felt a lot more at danger during the first two acts of this movie. By the end, it did feel like there were certain points that felt convenient. If not convenient, maybe a little rushed more so than I would have preferred. And you do admittedly feel the pacing of this movie. This movie does take its time. I think Gareth Edwards is really good at least methodically, slowly building out the world and characters. I like that this movie takes its time and doesn't really just jump right into the dinosaur stuff. It really builds out the world and fleshes it out before we get there. And I found that refreshing personally. And the dinosaurs feel huge and epic. They feel large in scope because the movie does a great job at handling that. Just Gareth Edwards films typically have such a great eye for scope and scale. We see that in Rogue One. We saw it in Godzilla 2014. We see it here. The dinosaurs feel huge, but in that you do get a sense of beauty with that. It's like, that is terrifying. It's so beyond me. Kind of a beauty in that. The choice to constantly keep humans in frame when we see the dinosaurs gives you that sense of scale. It gives you that sense that these things are larger than life. I like that this movie really kept consistent focus in that with the visuals. This movie is beautiful. It's fucking gorgeous to look at. There's so many shots in this that just had me in awe, honestly. Just genuinely beautiful outside cinematography and great effects. Like, was never really, there's one scene for a second where I'm like, looks kind of computer, but in a movie like this where I'm enjoying it so much, it does feel more like a nitpick when I harp on that. I really enjoyed that scene regardless. It was like for half a second, but then I was like, you know what, I'm into it. Because I think the actors and the cast and the crew and everything involved, I like that this movie really also hones in on the reactions of humans. Humans aren't just nonchalant about dinosaurs and things that terrify them. Their reaction sells you on the effects and how they are sold and look realistic as well. I think that's why we have movies like from the 70s. Like, we buy Superman flying in that movie because Lois Lane's reaction to the flying more so than the effects of the flying. Same deal here with Jurassic Park or Jurassic World when people are reacting just as terrified or as realistic like they would to a scenario. You kind of soak in that moment a little more and you feel engrossed in it. I thought Jurassic World Rebirth did nail that really well. With some pacing issues and certain character moments a little bit rushed and a little bit lack of explanation. Other than that, those are really my biggest issues with this movie. I had a blast. It's just, I'm really surprised at how much I enjoy this. Like, I'm so glad I enjoyed a Jurassic Park movie again. Jurassic World Rebirth is exciting, it's entertaining, it has a solid handle on character, it has a great sense of scope and scale with the dinosaurs, but does respect the beauty in that nature as well, while still showing how it can be tense and terrifying. In spirit, Jurassic World Rebirth feels the most like the OG Jurassic Park trilogy, more so than the other Jurassic World films in my opinion. It's definitely my favorite of the bunch in this new series. Flaws and all, I had a great time with this movie. Guys, what did you think of Jurassic World Rebirth? Did you enjoy it? How does it hold up to the other Jurassic World films for you? What is your favorite Jurassic Park movie? Thank you so much for watching Scatterbrain Reviews. I'll see you next time.